Hi, my name is Bryan. We're going to talk about 3D printing.
And I'm Miss Becker, and yeah, welcome to Conversations with Bryan and Becker. We're going to talk about this new phenomenon called 3D printing. If you don't know what the word phenomenon means, it means like a new idea or a new concept that's just taking over everybody's thought process and taking over the world. Anyway, so we're going to talk about 3D printing. So Bryan just learned about what 3D printing is. So can you kind of explain what you saw?
They just like print different things out of a printer. They just melt ink and then they go around and around.
So they use like the same ink it takes for me to print off a piece of paper is the same ink they've used to make 3D printing?
Yeah.
Whoa. Or would it be different? Because like we watched this video of an ear being printed. Could I use ink to make an ear?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think so? Well, my class is doing some research on 3D printing, and we realized that with 3D printing, it's basically like a program or kind of like some code where you can type in what you want it to print, and as long as you have the right materials hooked up to the printer, and you tell the printer, this is way basic knowledge, print, printer, it'll make it. So like with an ear, like a human ear, you would take like the cells from a person's body and turn them into like an ink and print out somebody's ear, and then you can give them a new ear. That's crazy. So let's think about this, Bryan, and this is something you guys can think about too. If we could 3D print people's ears, if they were missing one, or if someone was missing like a hand, or if you were missing your leg, and you could 3D print it off a new one, how would that change people's lives?
I don't know.
Let's say you didn't have a leg. What would life be like if you didn't have a leg?
I don't know.
You couldn't do what? What couldn't you do?
Walk.
Couldn't walk. You couldn't
play.
It'd be hard to play, right? So imagine if you lost your leg somehow and you could just print off a new one, kind of like a robot leg. How would that change? You could do what now?
Walk.
Walk and play and yeah, just have a regular, average life, right? So here's another thing. Oh, speaking of just having new arms and legs, you guys should check out Project Daniel. There's a guy in Africa, or no, a guy I heard about a town in Africa where people were suffering loss of like arms and legs, and so he took a 3D printer over there and was starting to make arms and legs for him. How kind. So Bryan doesn't know what I'm going to ask him next, so this will be cool, and maybe you guys don't know that 3D printing can do this also, but 3D printing, there is a food printer out there where you can put in a special ink, but it's not really ink, it would be like a food ink, and it can print off food.
And then you can eat it?
And then you can eat it. So how would that change the world if we could, instead of going to the store, how would that change the way people live?
I don't know.
What if you had a 3D printer at your house that printed food?
You would never have to spend our money.
True, or you'd have to buy money, you'd have to buy the ink or whatever. What about like a village that like a group of hungry people or like homeless people? What if they had a 3D printer? Or what if like a village had a 3D printer? What could they do if they didn't have like food around? What could they do?
Print food.
They could print food. It could change the way people live. So now they're getting body parts or organs, like you needed like a new lung, you could print a lung. Or if you needed food and you don't have food resources around you, you could print food. Like we could print off crackers for ourselves here. And we could have, these are not 3D printed crackers, just so you know, these are from Hy-Vee. But somebody could 3D print a cracker and they could enjoy a nice tasty cracker meal. Okay? Another thing that one of my students was telling me, you could drop your cracker also. 5-second rule. One of my students was in here telling Bryan about how they were building houses and schools. So that means you could 3D print a wall and 3D print a door, 3D print
a security system.
A security system. I don't know. You could 3D print, I don't know. That'd be crazy. I don't know. Here's a question. And this is a question that some of my friends and I were talking about. So if they can 3D print body parts, if they can 3D print food, what if they 3D printed dinosaurs?
How about a person?
Or a person. Let's talk about dinosaurs, because we know how to handle people for the most part. We don't really know how to handle dinosaurs. So I'm going to go a little Jurassic Park on you, Bryan. What if we could print off dinosaurs and they would be amongst us?
Hmm?
Yeah, like what if we printed off a dinosaur? Like a real one, and it grew up.
I would be scared.
Exactly. It would not be entertaining. It would be scary. But what if it was like a nice, like plant one, like a plant-eating dinosaur, like a Stegosaurus, or like a long neck, like you know what a long neck is from The Land Before Time, Littlefoot, you know. If it was a nice one, I would take a dinosaur home with me, like a little guy. Put him, hang him, or put him out in the yard with Reuben. You know, you just have a good time. What dinosaur would you want to print off? A flying one. So really, I mean, we gotta be careful here because we don't want to end up like Jurassic Park, where they're making dinosaurs and stuff. Because that'd be terrifying. But it sounds like 3D printing could help people, right? Printing off crackers, printing off houses, printing off body parts, but maybe not so much dinosaurs.
People.
But maybe people. I don't know. Or like animals, like cows, or chicken. Oh, we could have chicken, but not dinosaurs. So I have a question, Bryan. If you could 3D print, if you could 3D print anything ever, what would you print off? And don't say a cracker. I know you're hungry right now and you're eating a cracker, but like really think if you had one 3D printing wish, what would you print off?
A computer.
You already have one.
I don't know one.
I would 3D print, well, if we're talking about making animals, I would print a goat, probably. Or a whale. You know, our conversations always come back to whales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Or like, oh, go ahead.
You could get a whale and just sell it to the zoo.
I could. I would 3D print a whale and say, hey zoo, I got this whale. You know what you should do with it? Put it in the dome. So our question this week is, if you had a 3D printer, what would you want to print? And really think hard if you're going to say dinosaurs, if you really want to put that noise in the world. Okay? All right, this has been
The Conversations with Bryan Becker.
Conversations with Bryan Becker. We will see you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Adios, amigos.